Collecting old debts in Texas. Hi, I'm consumer protection attorney Bill Clanton, and I've helped hundreds of consumers, regular folks like me and you, deal with debt collection harassment, inaccurate credit reporting, and other consumer-related matters. In this video, I'm talking about old debts in Texas. Now, in Texas, the statute of limitations for most debts is 4 years. That means that after 4 years of non-payment, they can no longer sue you. Or in other words, a creditor has to sue you within 4 years of your default. When you stop making payments, they have 4 years to sue you from that date. Why is that important? Well, because after that point, a debt collector can no longer threaten to sue you. If a debt collector threatens to sue you on a debt that is no longer possible to sue you on, a debt that's past the statute of limitations, then that's a violation of the law. In fact, debt collectors cannot even offer to settle with you on that debt. They cannot use the term settle when talking about that debt. That's because the term settle implies that they have the right to sue you, that they have something to offer in exchange for your payment of the debt. And they don't. Their right to enforce that debt legally is gone. They can no longer enforce it, so they no longer have anything to settle with you. The other deadline that applies to these types of debts is 7 years. That's when it should fall off of your credit report. On your credit report, you'll see DOFD, date of first delinquency. That's when the 7 years starts running. So 7 years from the DOFD, date of first delinquency, that account should fall off your credit report. A favorite trick of debt collectors is re-aging the debt. So there'll be the date of first delinquency, and then 2 years later, a debt collector will say the date it was opened. Well, that's the date the debt collector got their hands on it, not the date the account was open. And they'll try to re-age the debt from that date to 7 years. Well, the 7 years is actually from the date of first delinquency, and it cannot be reported 7 years after that. It should fall off your credit report. If you're having issues with debt collectors trying to collect debts that are beyond the statute of limitations, or reporting debts that are beyond the 7 years, then let me know. It's also very important to carefully monitor communications, letters and phone calls from debt collectors that are on this old debt or stale debt. Certain language has to be used according to state law that says that they will not sue you, this debt is beyond the statute of limitations, or the debt is beyond the credit reporting limitations, and they cannot report it on your credit report. If their letters fail to include that language, that's a violation of the law. Collecting old debts is a minefield for debt collectors. If you're dealing with a debt collector who's trying to get you to pay a debt that's more than 4 years old, give me a call. I want to help you out. I'm happy to review any letters or phone calls you've got and discuss strategies that I can employ for you to fight these debt collectors. The FDCPA is the law that applies here, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. It says that if a debt collector makes a misrepresentation to you, lies to you about a debt, misrepresents the amount, makes false credit reporting about the amount or about the debt itself, then you have a case against them. And you can recover your actual damages, your statutory damages, attorney's fees, and costs. That means it should cost you nothing to get started with an FDCPA lawyer, and you should be able to cover your statutory damages, and your lawyer should get paid by the debt collector. If you're ready to turn the tables on a debt collector who's trying to collect a stale debt, give me a call. My number's below. And please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.